Hi, how are you all? I think you all are fine. And now, today's 31st night in 2020, and within few hours, we are stepping. Actually, we are making the footprint. We are giving the footprint in 2021, and we think this year will be more and more fascinating and enthusiastic. In 2020, uh, there's a lots of miseries in our life, in the earth, and that is COVID-19 pandemic. In Corona pandemic, uh, at least 83 crore people has been affected and 17 lakh people has been died from COVID-19. And in our country, it also it's not so good, but it is good than other countries. In London, in European countries, are the most severely victim of COVID-19. And I can notice in some developed countries like Washington, I mean America, uh, London, Europe, France, and London, there has been a new strain in COVID-19, and it is I don't know what will happen in the next in COVID in 2021, but it is going from our life, and we hope inshallah we'll see the new hope, we will see the new sun, new moon, and that will be full of enthusiasm, full of hope, and full of love. I want to pay tribute, my heart condolence to all of them who has been died from COVID-19 in this year. Also, actually, um, in 2020, as I want to say from myself, what actually I have done and which has been happened in our life in 2020. Um, Actually, I am a varsity going student, and my university has been stopped at 17 March 2020. I have left from my university campus, and after then now it is December, so at least 9 months I'm in home, only home, and sometimes it has been totally locked down. That time it when the government has making the whole cities lockdown, so that time it was so much suffocative, and sometimes I don't find anything to do, and that time the whole day sometimes I made some making fun with my dearest one, I mean my home, who is my family, and I also I saw lots of movies, but the same things you do in every day, how can you be okay? So that actually also happens for me, and after that sometimes I become frustrated also, and I started making call with my friends, and actually I don't know what happens to actually with you, and they actually give me the same thing which actually all same happens to me. And that time I realized that all the situation, all the people situation surrounding with me actually the same, because in COVID-19 pandemic all are actually handicapped in home, and that's the only reason to for make safe you as to reside in home. But now the situation is becoming quite normal in our country, and comparatively in Bangladesh it is more safe than other countries. And our neighbor in India, there has been a lots of people has been died from COVID-19, and now at this moment also many people has been affected more and more increasingly. But there was also a pain, I know, a bad memories in 2020 in my life also. My mom has been affected from COVID-19 at maybe at April, yeah. The time our whole family becomes so much mourned, because our mom is the only one who actually take care of whole family, and we are totally dependent with mom, and she's our dearest one, she's our beloved one. And sometimes things getting worse, okay, and my mom couldn't uh, inhale oxygen. I mean, he cannot breathe properly, and she needs oxygen cylinders. The time we decided to move my mom to my hospital. But you know, in Bangladesh, in there's a lot, as well as there's a lots of hospital, but sometimes it becomes hard to manage a seat for a COVID-19 patient, and it also happens for my mom. But luckily, we have relatives in Bogura. My mom's, I mean my aunts, okay, and they were so much kind-hearted, and they give me call, and they give me hope to don't worry, just take your mom to our city. Actually, they are doing job in Mohammed El Hospital, Bogura. So that time it gives me hope. First time, at the very first beginning, I was becoming so frustrated because in Rajshahi we couldn't treat any good services to my mom, which are actually so much beneficiary at that moment. And I remembered when we went to Rajshahi Medical College, the doctor actually even didn't come to my mom also, and but she is a government employee. She is a sub inspector of police, but things becoming more and more urgent. And that time my aunts calls me, and they give me hope, and they insist me to take my mom in Bogura. And I decided to go with her. And about 7 days, when I first reached to Bogura, it was midnight and 3 a.m. Some people had come and came, and they took my mom with a wheelchair, within a wheelchair. And I became so much frustrated because no one was with me. I was only alone. But I make myself confident, I make myself strong. At the time, no one was with me, but I believe the Creator is always with me, and He doesn't do any type of inequalities. I mean, there is a hope which actually I found in my heart. Okay, after some times, my aunt called me, and she calls me to get in hospital. And that time I went the third floor in Mohammed El Hospital, and I saw my mom. She was wearing a mask, oxygen cylinder mask, and my aunt was with her. And she tells me, okay, now get some rest. I will with your mom. And saying this type of word, saying this type of a helping mind, I decided to take some rest. And at the time, I just came back to my aunt's home and have some dinner. At the time, at 7 a.m., my aunt gives me a calling bell at home, and when I just opened, I saw my aunt is outside the home. That time I decided I just moved to the hospital as soon as possible. And after getting the breakfast, I just hurriedly went to the to my mom, and I saw them. She is just lying on bed, and using the mask. I never saw my mom this type of sorrowful incident. I never seen. And the sister who calls me that don't be afraid, stay with your mom. And the family, I mean the aunt's family, who actually give me a proposal to stay with them and don't go to the hospital, because it is a contagious, it maybe happens with you, and also if you come back to the home, it is a huge possibility to spreading the coronavirus with their family. So I decided to stay with my mom, because when I was in my childhood, uh, I became several times I feel sick and ill, and even some days are was happening that I couldn't step up. Okay, I just whole day I just lying down. But my mom don't give up me. She always, all the time, she was with me, and she was taking care as best as she can. So I couldn't leave her, so I decided to stay with her. And luckily, but there is a lots of incident actually within the 7 days, which actually happens with me and with my mom. And sometimes my mom get frightened in my for being a nightmare, and she just open up and calls me, Rafi, this type of things actually happens in my happen with me, so what will I do right now? So I actually give her consolence, don't be afraid, stay with the possibilities, take the positivity, I think you will be fine, inshallah. Sometimes my mom's health conditions becoming worse than it was before, and other patient in the cabin were actually told me that your mom's condition wasn't good, and might be she can be die, so like this. So but I have the hope. I don't know where is the hope comes, and I think if it comes, so it only comes from my Almighty, and that was the hope that my mom won't leave me. Inshallah, she will with me, and I just have to take the proper responsibility. I just have to love her at this moment, because no one was with us, so I didn't leave her, and I just staying with her, holding his hand so tightly. And when actually, and at the time my aunt, at the time my aunt survey, supply us the food. And when I actually went their home, they didn't allow me to to enter their house, because now at this moment I can realize that there was a huge possibility for spreading the coronavirus. But sometimes it makes me disheartened, because all the time staying with the watchman at the ground floor, but you can easily enter your home, but there is no permission. They actually insist you to stay at the ground floor. So sometimes it made me disheartened. But actually, when you are in danger, so this type of little type of disheartedness or worriness, I think worries doesn't affect you so properly. So that actually happens with me also. And I actually collect the food and hurriedly rush to my mom's, and about 4 or 5 days I decided to make myself test, I mean corona test. And what actually happens to me, I actually wanna see them, but luckily there was a miracle. And at that time, the same day, my mom actually there was a condition: if you wanna test negative, I mean if you wanna test again, so there must be there is a there's a word like that, 7 days has to be overcome. But my mom just examine her test, the corona test, COVID-19 test, within the 4 days. And after the 4 days, it gives me hope that my mom's result, COVID-19 result, has been become negative. And when I heard this, I become so glad, and I share all my feelings with all patients. And they actually also became very happy because my mom condition wasn't good. And at the same time, after some hours, I also knew my result also, and my COVID-19 test has become also been negative. It was not positive. Although I was also staying with my mom, I admire, I appreciate. Yeah, it was dangerous, but I couldn't leave her. That's the only reason I couldn't leave her. I have to maintain. I have to, because I love her. That's the reason for with her. So sometimes people ask me, and they actually share their sorrows in My Day, in Facebook, in WhatsApp, Twitter, etc. And at the time was also very hard time for me, but I didn't share anyone actually, except to friends only. I didn't share this with anyone because I know in worries you only the person, you just have to explore it, you just have to eliminate your danger. No one, some maximum time no one actually with us, but sometimes we couldn't see, yeah, someone is with us. There's the belief, and there's the hope, there's the blessing of Allah, there's the blessing of creator. We actually would say, yeah, there may be not any people with us, but there will be, yeah, and some people, someone or something will help you, and there's the blessing of creator. So never disbelieve on him. Okay, so I want to say, always be positive, always have faith on Allah, or have faith on creator. So that's it. And in 2020 I made some new revelation in my life also. At the time, at 2019, and at the very early of my life, when I was in class 6, I first wrote my, not in class 6, when I was in class 4, I first wrote my poems. So that was, in Bengali that is called Shuktara. My teachers asked me, hey, do you have any good thought? Do you want to participate in poetry writing? So I just call him, sir, please give me just 2 minutes, I'm just coming back. And I told my all friends, hey, do you have any gap? Please, I wanna be there. I mean, I wanna be the corner, and there will be less noise. I wanna that time within 2 minutes, I think I can write something. And Alhamdulillah, within 2 minutes, I made a poem. That is the first poem in my life. And when I handed over my teacher, he became very glad. Wow, that's very nice. Thank you. And it makes me inspiration when just I come back to my home. I told my mom, that actually happens to me, and she becomes very glad to hear that. I also. So within the time, up to 2019, I didn't write. I write also, but I didn't make them any video of my poems. But in 2020, I decided to make them the video because I made a huge time. So sometimes it become boring, but I want to utilize them. And I saw lots of movies, in Hollywood movies, Korean movies, anything what actually entertains me. Actually, I saw them. And that day, this year, I made some videos, at the very beginning of my life, I want to do some acting, when I saw the movie at the very early of my life, I was become so much motivated. Yeah, what actually the heroes do, I can do. Okay, I can do. So that was the courage in my life. And even nowadays, the whole life, when I saw some good shots in movies, so I just thought that if I wanna get chance, or if I have the accommodation, or if I have the sufficiencies to make this type of act, I can do. So that's from the motivation from my very early childhood. So I saw that TikTok and like this type of apps gives me the opportunities to make some videos, to express yourself, what actually you want to be, what if you do a good and acting, so you can express them in like your TikTok in videos. And that's why I started making them. And at first, some people at the very beginning of this making this type of videos, some people are always with me, and some gives me inspired actually, and some people are actually told like that actually suits you. Okay, that's actually suits you, so keep going. And somebody making them laugh, and who are actually laughing that time, that are actually that person, the whole person actually give me a laugh now that time, and they called me, all the videos are so much excellent, and they gives me appraisal. So I became glad. Actually, I didn't make this type of video for only for appraisal. I make them for for my own fun, because in home I said, and I repeated again, sometimes it becomes so much boring for living with only yourself, because in Russia now at this moment I am living in Russia. So sometimes when I was in college going student, there was a lots of friends, but now actually I live in my machine in my university. So many of my friends in Russia has been going in their own places. Some are going to the other universities, so there's a possibility for meet with them. And that's why I knew some people in Russia, not so much, as my parents are government employees. So most of the time in my life, my childhood, my adulthood, I just keep moving. Okay, I just keep shifting myself, and also the family. So that's why I couldn't make any long-term relation with the people because of my father's and parents transfers. So all the things are actually, I said about 2020. So I think there's a lots of things which actually have not been told. Okay, that's fine. Some stories might be untold. That is actually thrilling, I think. So wish you a happy new year in 2021. I think all the people become more and more attractive, and wish you a very healthy life, and wish you a very good life in your personal views, and love from myself to all of you. Thank you very much, my friends, my youngers, my elders, all of them. And again, happy new year.